Hey, welcome to the Chaos Meets Creation podcast number 2. It's been a while. Been a while. Um, Not that I haven't wanted to sit down and do another of these. It's just I guess the other stuff has been. I didn't think it would be quite as time extensive to get into the like art part of this project, but I guess when you're rendering out 150, close to 200 images per canvas, I guess it takes a little while, and then you gotta clean up all those images, and you gotta edit it all together, and so I guess it takes a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but here we are. We're back. Um, we're at about 30,000 views on TikTok right now. I guess the sharp increase in engagement is starting to logarithmically peter off, which hopefully we can reignite and playing around with some things. But it's still interesting to me, the process, which I don't know if I listed it out last time, which probably I didn't. But for me, going from ground zero to me, the reason why I'm even putting this out into the universe is because this feels like one of those has anyone done it this way before type of feeling. And I've probably said this before, where I didn't see anyone like, Tesla always said, or Elon Musk about Tesla, that there wasn't any direct competition doing what they did. The same thing here. It's like, well, if no one's doing it, then let me at least put it out, and maybe better minds and better people can enhance it from there to, pass on the baton. But it did feel in the beginning like this is very much, has anyone done it this way before, a completely novel idea, which, considering there's close to 7 billion people on Earth, and then however many people have lived and died through the ages, like, you gotta, I guess, come to the realization that there are very few ideas that people will put into action that haven't been considered and attempted before, right? Like, sure, you can put any string of like unique words together, and maybe that's a completely new sentence that has never been arranged. But like, as far as a coherent application of a thought, it's hard to come across these days. Maybe at the cutting edge of your field, and maybe you can get to those more. But I still think, for like at least the podcast I listen to with experts, I still think that the experts in the field regard novel ideas and like, I guess, true breakthroughs as Easter eggs, as these miracles, as these very humbling experiences. And I feel like for lay people like myself, um, you don't always expect to get one of those yourself, or you're maybe not looking for them, so you come across it, or if you're not looking to start a business, and then all of a sudden you're venturing out and doing something that, I was going to be this, and then all of a sudden I'm a veterinarian, and it's like people, I guess, I've read about them in books, like people stumbling into, or kind of taking sharp turns in their lifetime to pursue things. But I digress. It's been fun. It's been a like super interesting experience, just because of all the enhancements that come out of the idea itself. For example, like, I log them because I'm analytical and weird like that, but also because it's fun to see what this is doing. Like, it doesn't all feel like it's me coming up with new ways to apply this idea. To me, it feels almost like the meme itself, the idea, like, and I say meme not as like a, an image that has a caption that's funny or witty, and then you propagate it through social media. I mean, back to Richard Dawkins when he was kind of referring to memes of these ideas or these like non-living things that propagate through living beings. I think at first he was referring to them as like maybe genetic markers or something, but groups of genes that kind of preserve themselves almost as if they were organisms. But now it's almost like there are theories of maybe humans are just conduits of memes, as I guess people consider consciousness. Why would humans have very pungent, out of nowhere, surprising thoughts when if you're the creator of your own thoughts, why would it be surprising to you to have that thought? Weird things, but to me, this feels like one of those things where it's like, potentially, if I can get people to see it, they will, I don't want to say be infected by the mind parasite, because that gives kind of a negative connotation, but they will become a potential host for this meme to take hold and have them go through the same process that potentially I was going through, and then it propagates out, and thereby, becoming viral. And so, like, of course, yeah, I'm always looking to improve myself, and maybe that comes through in this process. But to me, sometimes it's much more intuitive of like, it's naturally evolving. The Pokemon, oh, reach level 16, it's evolving. That's sometimes how it feels. Like I'm just the end, or the vehicle for which this thing evolves, kind of thing. So, if you don't mind, I would like to go through some of them because I do find them interesting for a little bit. And we'll transition out of this segment once I get utterly, once I bore you utterly to death. But just going through, even kind of our secret sauce of how we come up with the original pieces that then I digitize, and kind of anyone that sees the video sees it already kind of completed. We probably went through 20 different processes, just not looking to make better art, but like looking to enhance our own experience while doing it. And I remember for a little bit, because what's interesting is like this isn't a one person thing. It's created with two people at the least, sometimes three, sometimes more. It doesn't matter what artistic level you're at, like the majority that me and my partner make, we're not formally educated in artwork. I don't think anyone else that we've invited in to help make some just for entertainment value. Let me pause, and if you hear anything, I'm sorry. The people outside my house have all of a sudden started to beat on things and throw things around that are very heavy. I don't know why. And there are also dogs now. Maybe the dogs are the ones throwing things around. I don't know. But basically, we went through all these iterations, and one of them was, interestingly enough, because I was seeing things early on in the art that my partner was not, I didn't want me sharing those ideas, those concepts, to bias or kind of impact the way she was then adding to the overall outcome of this piece. So I had early on set a rule: we don't talk, and we were fairly slow, and for a bit there was a conversation that I don't want to do this anymore because it's taking too long. I don't find it enjoyable. You're enjoying it and I'm not, and I'm just sitting here in silence waiting for us to be done. And lo and behold, like, it took us 22 iterations of various styles to then say, okay, we're going to change things up and we can talk and we just can discuss as we go. And all of a sudden, number 23 kind of blasts through the stratosphere of us being earth-dwelling beings, of kind of what I expected to come out of it, and it's still kind of, for its own purposes, is super interesting to me on an artistic level. Because again, I'm not an artist, but number 23 is super interesting because to me, on the surface, it's a woman like with a speech bubble coming out, and there's like other things going on. But inside the speech bubble is a mirror inversed of the whole canvas. It's her with the speech bubble upside down. And then it kind of does it again. That to just naturally come out of the chaos of what we're doing was interesting. I was like, oh, cool, that's a recurring pattern. You might talk about like, what are they called? Are they fractals? Are they? I can't remember, but like the reoccurring like plants kind of have these reoccurring symmetrical patterns that they'll naturally form, and you might see them in other things in nature. And it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. It just came out. But what was super interesting was then, if had you told an artist, hey, draw something, and somewhere in the art have the overall piece inversed and repeating, miniaturized back and forth inside this miniature, but make every angle 0, 90, 180, 270. Make every angle you can turn the canvas also make that specific reoccurring inverse repeating pattern, make it also its own independent image. And what I mean by that is, so from the 0 angle you get the whole picture, the lady, the speech bubble, and then at the 180 you flip it, whatever. Like I can't remember if it's actually like this, but it's probably more along the 90 and 270 repeating pattern. But yeah, you see it at one angle, you go to the reverse angle, and you see the now repeating inverse. Well, now make sure that on the 90 and the 270 you have two independent images that speech bubble and whole image can also independently be viewed as. And what I mean by that is, I think on one side there's a kid with a baseball hat with like a booger in his nose, and on the other side it's this guy with like an afro, and he's wearing like aviators, and like, and to me it's like, okay, now you just added a level of complexity that really changed your overall request of draw an image that from one angle is the inverse of itself in miniature form repeating. Now all of a sudden you've said, oh, but the other two 90-degree angle perspectives also have to be independent images. That's impossible, kind of thing. And like, to me, yeah, like I would have no idea how to actually create something coherent out of it. Maybe you could make simple things do that, but like to make complex, unique images, I think was like, wow, this is really interesting. And so number 23 was kind of special in that way, where it's like all of a sudden, like I said, we just took a huge leap in the quality of the art and the number of images that contained within it. And I think, to summarize before I move on, it's like the concepts, kind of the themes, all of a sudden started from there. And from then on, there were themes of like, oh wow, we just introduced motion into our art, where there's enough lines and enough images that they can create a story. And I think number 35 was really good at that, where when I was seeing it, there would be almost like a story told in the images as your eye scanned from one spot to another. Here's a child and a growth to an adolescent, to a woman, to like a princess kind of thing, death, rebirth, and just kind of like these concepts. Like there would be like life and death, and like just these natural flows of images that kind of started to emerge. And so that was really cool. I really do. I don't know if you can tell, but I really do enjoy talking about this. And we'll probably go into more like unique occurrences and phenomena that have come out of individual canvases. Number 23, I guess, is the one for the day that we'll leave it at. But since then, yeah, just like the evolution of how to present the art has kind of been the at the forefront, and that's still, as we are going into this like digital art forum, is kind of the emerging spots of enhancement that are coming out of it. The most recent being a reversion back to an original idea that I couldn't keep up with rendering out the images sometimes, so I had to draw line outlines, and I thought that was really cool because you could kind of still, as for me that knew what those images were, I could still see all the images without covering them up, because it was just one line color equaled one image, and then another line color silhouette would be another image, and that kind of helped, and it would look cool as a final product. Well, now we can do that and then do like a game version of it, like which of these silhouettes is blank, is the dragon, is the the girl on roller skates, whatever it might be, and then it gets interactive that way. And I think that's the cool part of why I enjoy this still so much, is the interactivity with it, and the game-like nature of what do I see today, or what do I see, what can I find, and I do find that as I look at other people's abstract art, I try to do the same thing. I don't know if it's always meant to be interpreted that way, but I do enjoy this part of this art form because of that. Hopefully it takes off. We'll see. So I'm gonna leave that segment there for now, as I get some water, because I'm not used to talking this long out loud. Well, yeah, it's been a little bit, and I am still trying to get videos either in the same format or new formats onto the YouTubes, such as this. It's a little difficult to, like I said in the beginning, I didn't realize it would be so much work now that there's so many images to try to render. But I'll try to get these out more often if there's interest, and then obviously to catalog and to document, journal the progress as it goes. But stepping out of the art, I guess I enjoy the revisionist games that I try to bring into some of the live shows that we've been doing on like TikTok, because I feel like someone just watching me do this, like I'm not an artist, so like it's not that engaging. So if I did a live show, I'd want it to be more entertaining. And I kind of was like, oh well, we could do it similar to like the movie fights from back in the day, where they would just debate for funsies about who's the most underrated Star Wars character, and go from there, or remake this and make it better, kind of thing. And so we've been trying to do that with like just prompts from the images from the like canvases and random number generator or whatever. Retell the story of this movie but with these characters now, and like we can kind of make a game out of guess that movie or whatever. And I mean I enjoy that. I like I am very critical of movies these days, so and that might be why, is it gives me a chance to kind of tell that story in a better way. For example, we went and watched Doctor Strange #2, and I wasn't a super big fan of Doctor Strange #1. I liked some of the scenes, but it's like this is the 10th, 20th origin story of a Marvel movie. It's like we get it, he starts out without powers, he somehow gets powers, he's got to figure out the powers, and then he's got to defeat the first boss. And it's like, come on. I almost feel like that's why Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was so great. It was just a satire of Spider-Man origin movies. All right, guys, let's do this one more time. And then, all right, let's do this one more time. And then you switch over to go, let's do this one more time. It's like, yeah, we get it. There's been like 15 Spider-Man movies. We get who Spider-Man is. Um, and so, yeah, I didn't really enjoy the movie of Doctor Strange. I like him in all the like the team up Avenger type movies, which they're fine. But yeah, for that one as a standalone, which was like, okay. And then number two, yeah, like it just felt like they had so many different tones that you're swinging for different fences, and maybe you're hitting home runs on all those, but it's hard to keep up with which goal are we trying to hit this time as a viewer. All those like when they're going through the multiverse and they're turning into like the paint and they're turning into like the fractals and the jungle and all these different things. It's like they're trying to get music to keep up with it, and it's like, yeah, okay, that's cool. Okay, it's gone. Oh, that was cool. Okay, it's gone. And it's just very fleeting. And same for the characters. Oh, whatever the Illuminati or something. We got the X-Men guy, Xavier. We got Jim coming in, and then all of a sudden, oh, they're dead. They're gone. Spoiler alert, I guess. But like, it's just everything is like a It's Always Sunny episode. We're going to introduce all this new stuff, and then at the end of it, we can't keep it. So, there's no character development, there's no plot development. We're just sticking to the bar. And it's like that. It's like everything new, all gone. And so and then, yeah, to typify that, it was the plot was, in essence, oh, I'm going to kill everyone so that I can have kids. You know what? I'm not going to kill everyone anymore, despite having killed all those people. Yeah, I changed my mind. And it's like, then why did we go through all that? Like, if that's all the conflict was, then it didn't mean anything. Like, and I didn't watch the WandaVision, so I have no idea, like, if that's supposed to tie in. But, like, as a casual fan, it just really irked me that it was that fragile of a plot where it all hinged on someone changing their mind. Like, they just built it up. Oh, this Doctor Strange is gonna fight. No, you know what, kid? It's your turn. I'm passing the torch. Not to call back to It's Always Sunny, but passing on the torch. And then I'm ready this time. And then you know what? We don't actually need to fight. The power of love. Oh, I changed my mind. The end. And it's like, okay, then I guess we're done. And it's like an M. Night Shyamalan movie where the ending twist, once the reveal, I guess is what the reveal isn't what you were wanting, and therefore the payoff isn't good enough. It's like they led you down one road, and then all of a sudden, you're no longer at the point on the map you thought you were. So it's like whatever they showed you from then on, it's not where you wanted to be. So, this is not Hawaii. This is Scottsdale, Arizona, in the middle of summer. The plane tickets clearly said Maui. Oh, that was a misdirect. And it's like, well, okay, but now I wanted to go to Hawaii, so going to Arizona, it's a vacation, but it's not where I was expecting to be. And so it just kind of blindsides you. And so, yeah, there were some parts, but there were cool things that they were trying to do, like the music fight. That was a cool concept. It just didn't really fit. And I don't know, just things like that. Top Gun, on the other hand, we went and watched that Top Gun movie. I tell you what, I thought it was cool. I really liked it. I really liked it because it was just like, we've had all these superhero movies now, and it's like, yeah, magic and flying and superpowers, but it's like, no, these are real humans, and they're flying in real jets, and you don't get to see extended, well done fighter jet flying all that often. So it just felt like oh, this is new, and it's well done, so it's really cool. So I thought that was a There were parts, cheesy, but it's like a remake of an '80s movie in 2020. So it's like, yeah, of course, like if you remade some of that stuff, it like feels weird. But everything else was like, I thought that was really good. Then we watched the Bob's Burger movies last week, I think, and I really love Bob's Burgers, like this TV show. We're trying not to like binge watch it, because it's like then we run out, but I just think as a movie, it wasn't quite. I guess there weren't as many home runs as I think you would even get in like a single episode, just because feel like it's longer, and you have to make a longer story and everything. It was fine, but I just think hopefully people don't go watch that and think any less of the actual series. Um, that being said, how would I make these things better? It's one thing to point a finger. How do you improve on it? It's a good question. I feel like Doctor Strange, maybe make a better villain. I feel like great movies always come down to the villain. And again, if the villain can wrap up the movie by just changing her mind, then that's not a good conflict. So, her being so overpowered, you really got to define power levels, I think, a little bit better. And then you, I don't know, give her some other reason to like fight, maybe, so that she can't just like change her mind. Maybe make her all consumed. She's totally done. Like she totally commits to the dark side. There is no Darth Vader redemption arc of like throwing Emperor Palpatine down the gigantic hole in their spaceship for whatever reason those were there. We don't need to get into the architectural flaws of having big bottomless pits in your home, your house. Hey, watch out for that. Well, you can't just put a board over that. No, I like the way that just emanates doom. That's the aesthetic we're going for, But yeah, maybe make that, because I will always go back to whatever you think about the Matrix trilogies and the way they went. I say trilogies because the fourth one I'm still convinced shouldn't have been made as terrible, and oh gosh. Yeah, I feel like the Matrix 4 is basically equivalent of like the Fantastic Beasts stories, which we can go into, but like just shouldn't have been made. There's so many other ways to have built upon the foundations of greatness, and I don't really even. I mean, I recognize that Harry Potter is a global phenomenon and people love it. Once you get into the nitty gritty, I have a lot of issues with the magical world, which you can totally sidestep if you just took my advice, which means nothing, costs nothing, and just you have introduced magic in feudal Japan, ninjas, ninjutsu, Naruto. You just boom, amazing. With samurai and stuff. Yeah, China, you have Avatar that's basically built that in, and you make all these different schools that are elementals, and you make like the emperor, he's trying to combine all of the schools together or something. Like you can have amazing imperial China setting and story. You have. You could do like Native American, you could do African, you could do Indian, you could do anything but Europe again. Like just branch out and show different types of magic and just move on. Like magic exists, okay, we built that into the universe. We're just gonna go somewhere else now. Like make it better. And so yeah. But going back to the Matrix, the trilogy was great because Neo, who has, this godlike potential of power well to draw upon, you have him being the light side. You have this equally and potentially greater opposition in Hugo Weaving, who who's acting, it just knocks it out of the park. Like, for everything that Neo is, his purpose, his prophecies, his his drive, is what Agent Smith is. You know, it's what makes Thanos great. Is he is acting out the fulfillment of his own destiny. You know, you can't have a great hero without a greater opposition to overcome. Otherwise, you're just Superman mowing down humans without any consequence. I know there's no conflict and it's boring. And it's probably why people like Batman, because Batman doesn't have powers. So like anyone that has powers is equally on better footing than him. But then I just don't like how they always give him like godlike intelligence. And it's like, oh, he knows how to take down the whole Justice League. Really though, because you know, before he can press that button, Superman or the Flash could just like move faster than what he can move at as a human, and like break his thumb, or you know, if he needed to, like kill him to stop him from killing them. Like, you know, they have better footing. So I don't know, but that's why I liked the newer Batman, because it was like, oh, I'm actually going to go into the investigative process, which I feel like a lot of the other ones kind of like skimmed over. But yeah, you gotta have a bigger, I don't want to say star because that sounds like actor, but you got to have a bigger opposition for your hero to overcome. I'm sure that's like writing 101, like the hero's journey archetype is like, you know, he from humble beginnings, the farm boy has to climb the mountain and steal the power of the gods and save his village. You know, it's like, you know, I feel like that's the story, you know, it's like you're always thrust into you know, an obstacle or a trial that you're not ready for. And it's kind of like Neo, he never could, you know, completely fully adjust. He was always having to like come up with new ways to like figure out his powers, or oh, I'm not strong enough to fight this Agent Smith, you know, what do I do? Well, I have to sacrifice myself. And you know, it was a great story, you know, like the opposition in all accounts was better and won, but in the end couldn't win. So yeah, you need something like that. And you know, who's to say, like you have Doctor Strange pull from all the other multiverses, other Doctor Stranges, and they fight together. I don't know, but like, yeah, it just, and even like some of the CG in the very beginning looked a little weird. Like it was like Spy Kids 2000. Like I never watched the movie, but just based on the trailers, like it looked like it was all green screen, and like it just didn't look like it meshed together, like lighting wise maybe. I'm not really sure, but it just looked like, act like there's you're in a mystical realm and there's a demon of, you know, lesser rendering quality than Live Die Repeat's little like tentacle monster thing, and there's a whole bunch of vines you have to, you know, jungle gym through, and it's just like, oh gosh, like this looks weird. And it was like the first scene, so I was like, oh, what is going on? Where are we at? We're at 33 minutes. Do we need to move on? We could end it if we wanted to, but let's see what else there is out there. Is there anything else? Dead air. Going back to It's Always Sunny. No, I mean, yeah. If we wanted to keep on the like make it better, the Harry Potter, I think I haven't watched a single Fantastic Beasts. It just wasn't interesting. Like, why would we're in a magical world? Why are we looking at their animals? Like, just show me more magic. Like, magical fights is all I care about. Do like a Dragon Ball Z. You know, the Dragon Ball Z. For a long time, I grew up with it, right? Like, you run home from the bus stop. You saw the last like 3 minutes of Sailor Moon. It was okay. You weren't really paying attention because you had to go to the bathroom. You had to, you know, put away your backpack, get into some comfortable clothes, and then you jump on your parents' bed to turn on the TV because you know you didn't watch TV anywhere else. You turn on the TV, you get it set to the right station, and you're waiting, and then last time on Dragon Ball Z, and then you're like, okay, cool, I made it. And you know, it was always about the, I guess, same thread. It was always about, you know, Goku or the gang. It's always sunny. The gang has to overcome space aliens. And now we got a new hybrid. There's $1 million idea for someone. And Charlie Day, come on, man. But it's you know, there's always some other opposition that I guess in writing you have to have something that progresses us forward, thrusts us forward. You know, you had the Saiyans first, and then you got resurrected, and you had to go to Namek and fight Frieza, and you know all these things, and eventually it was just Cell in his tournament of power, right? And it was just okay, we'll just fight in a tournament based style, and they were like, you know what? There aren't too many big threats out there anymore. Maybe we should just always make this a tournament based like series. And you know what? It worked. They were like, this is what the people want. Let's give them what they want. And so you went from the Cell games to, I think there was another tournament. Maybe it was, yeah, Majin Buu, right before Majin Buu. And then you had like Dragon Ball, was it Super, where there was like the it was Beerus and his like brother from another Universal mother, maybe, I don't know. I wasn't watching too closely because yeah, who cares about, it's just about the fighting, right? Like you don't watch the dialogue. And so they did like a small tournament, and then they did another like mini pre-tournament of the multiverse, and then they did a full tournament, and that's all it was just like tournament after tournament after tournament after tournament. And it was just them fighting new and bigger threats. And, you know, they evolved the story to just be that. Harry Potter could do that too. Like, you know, I feel like the book of the fourth one was the funnest because it was like an adventure. You know, you have puzzles to solve. Everyone likes a heist. Everyone likes puzzle solving, and you know, prize at the end of the rainbow or whatever. But like, there's so little fighting. It's like school. And do you guys finish your homework? And then, you know, with the power of love, we're gonna overcome the bad guy again. And it's like, okay, but can we get some like real wizards in here that know how to do magic to fight some other like real wizards that know how to do magic for once? And just show us that. Like, show us, you know, some made up, oh, once in 1,000 years we do this tournament, and it's all the wizards from all around the world showcasing their magic, and they're gonna fight to the death. And it's like, yeah, I would watch that Harry Potter movie, right? Like, because again, you're going back to the idea that I proposed, and I'm the smartest person I know, so you know, it's got to be a good idea, I guess. And it's just, yeah, you know, you open it up to the multiverse, or at least the magical universe, and then now you have all these different people. Now you can make stories based on all these other interesting people that the fans like. Like, oh, you know, rather than using a wand, you know, this guy from Japan, he uses his sword as a conduit for casting his spells. Or, you know, there's a ninjutsu school where they use their finger seals to like replicate magical casting and channeling magic. And then you have China where they use their movement and coordination with like magical nature elements that then create magic. And like, it could be, and maybe I'm just turning this into like the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon plus, who's the guy that does the Transformers movies? What's that guy's name? Hey Google, who directed Transformers?
Transformers was directed
Michael
by
Bay.
Stephen Caple Jr., Travis Knight, and Michael Bay.
Yeah, it's Michael Bay. I got it before. Again, I'm the smartest person I know. Yeah, Michael Bay makes Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon of J.K. Rowling's magical universe. And yeah, there you go. Like I would sit down and watch three of those movies. You know, like you just get like the equivalent of today. You know, like Tony Ya. I was gonna say Jet Li, but Jet Li's probably a little bit old now. You get like the equivalent of like today's Tony Ya, and you get like the fighters to then who can actually fight to then now you mix them in, or who's the guy that does Shang Chi? Simon Liu, I think, or something. Hey Google, who stars in Shang Chi?
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings has a cast of 55 actors. Here are the first three: Aquafina, Simu Liu, and Stephanie Hsu.
Ah, see, I got it again. And of course you got to get Aquafina in there as like something because I mean I don't know. Speaking as half Asian, can't get enough of Aquafina. She's great. Um, yeah, so give her a role. She'll make it great. So yeah, you got that, and then I mean, I guess rain check on how to make Matrix 4 better. I mean, there have definitely been proposed that audio that I've given of the Matrix 4, and it's a similar idea. It's like you've got the foundations of the universe. Just transition to a different point in your universe. Similar to what I feel like what people. It's the M Night Shyamalan effect again. Like with even the new Star Wars trilogy, people loved Rogue One because it was like something familiar, but like kind of a tangential story. Whereas everyone always like hated every single new movie in the trilogy because it's like everyone had all these expectations of where they wanted it to go, and then you gave them something else, and then they were like, "That's not what I wanted." And it's like, well, you can't please everyone all the time. And it just so happened that all those people are at my show last night. Like credit to Mitch Hedberg, obviously. Um, but yeah, I just feel like you don't have to remake the old stuff, and you don't have to like pander to what people want if you know that they expect certain things and they're never going to be satisfied. Just like, okay, well, guess what? We're not making a Matrix 4. We're making a Matrix 0. Or we're making a Matrix, like 1,000 years ago. Show me, the anomaly from the first generation. Show me the anomaly from the second generation. You can have multiples together, maybe. You don't have to make them reincarnating, but like, like there's more to the story than just bullet time. Oh, let's make it a love story and let's give someone else the anomical powers. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. But I feel like I don't want to say that they did it because it was pandering to like equal feminism or whatever, but like that's not what you wrote into the story and the foundation. So like you have 3 points of a linear progression, and all of a sudden you start introducing this I don't want to call it chaos because then now negatively ties to my art, but like you have a certain direction you've built into your first core, and now it feels like you moved away, and that's why like to me I didn't like it. Like a lot of it just didn't make sense. It didn't. Like I don't want to watch the old movies. I can rewatch those movies. I want a new movie. Don't give me that old stuff. So yeah, a lot of stuff in it. What you do is you I feel like because I've recorded a second podcast before and I didn't have the like time to upload it, and so it got old and then stale and like. But like you could even make it I don't want to keep using M Night Shyamalan because I'm not a big fan of his work, but like some of the times that he makes movies, he doesn't tell you that it's even in the same universe. It's not a sequel. It's not a. And then at the very end, the twist is okay. Well, it is in the same universe, or it is a sequel, or it is this that. And that's what you do for like a Matrix movie. Is like you make it about two warring tribes at any point in history, pre-industrial age or something, and it's like, oh well, these two groups or two civilizations, two states have been warring forever. It just so happens that in one of them is born one main character and one is born the other, like antagonistic character. And lo and behold, the twist, spoiler alert, because I like this form, is like the guy that you thought was the protagonist born into the main story civilization, he's actually an agent of the Matrix. He's working with the robots, right? Like at the very end, it shows like uh, somehow they're like putting people into stasis pods, or they're jacking them back into the Matrix or whatever. Because that was like a big thing to me, and like the whole power. I feel like they tried to address the power level energy output of humans, which is like there's so much energy that has to go into sustaining life that it just wouldn't be a good power source for robots based on heat or electricity. Um, but if that were the case and you're building it into your plot as a pivotal motivation for why humans grow or why robots grow humans, then you don't go out and kill them. You go out and you reinsert them into the matrix and put them in a coma. You put them into a specialty matrix. You put them into a specialty unit of the stasis pods where they can't get out as easily, right? If life is that important to providing you energy, then you don't go out and kill them. You go reinsert them back into the matrix so you can get more energy. I don't know. So yeah, I just think it would be a fun twist. Like, oh, not only is this a Matrix universe movie, but our protagonist is like the precursor to Agent Smith. He's like, the Agent Smith 1.0, where Agent Smith in the Matrix trilogy is, he's the enhanced version or whatever. And so like he's like causing conflict or whatever. But like the idea being he's actually working to get this other civilization abducted or captured so they can be reinserted into the matrix or something. That would be my take. Again, that way people don't always know it's a Matrix movie. They don't have the expectations, and then you can build in independent stories from your foundation of the universe you built, which I think is what people did really well with the Star Wars fan fiction books. I've never gotten into them, but people that I know that like them, they're super into them because they're so well done. It's like they all read each other's books that have been canonized, I guess, and they build off of them, but they also build thousands of years into the past, thousands of years into the future, completely independent stories based on the universe that the readers have already agreed that they like. And so you don't have to keep giving them banana pudding, banana pudding, banana pudding. You're only ever getting banana pudding. No. You've built out a menu that people like. Well, now show them, okay, you like this? Well, we're going to give you some of these things. And, you don't have to get the banana pudding again and again and again. So that's where I would have taken it. Where are we at? 48 minutes and a half or so. So yeah, that's my make it better rants for those movies. Is there anything else we need to delve into? No, I think for now that's good. There will be some segments I think in future editions where we'll have, obviously we'll put this out more frequently, about maybe going into one canvas at a time, kind of delving into what makes them kind of special. We'll continue doing the make it better segment because I'm very critical of a lot of things, and I have an opinion on a lot of things. Apparently, I think I'm better than those millionaires that make movies, and what else? There was something that I had kind of put up about based on the Google Trends data. If you don't know, you can go to Google Trends and you can go back through historical years and find out like what through categories what was trending. And what I was going to do was going to pick a couple things and um, kind of talk about them, not based on that year, but just in general, what's going on right now with Linkin Park. Just spoiler alert: Linkin Park's in there a lot because they're a great band. Eminem apparently is like probably one of the most reoccurring names. So yeah, he's been killing it for a long time. Um, we'll see. We'll see. There's options. There's choices that we can make. The World Cup's coming up, so we don't have to talk sports, but hopefully the Warriors will win. Just because I like Stephen Curry, but I'm not too tied to any team. I'm not like one of those people that it's like gotta watch every game. You gotta watch the games. You gotta learn everyone's names and their stats and their where they went to college and all that stuff. Just like who has time for that? I don't have time. I don't have the interest, and I don't know. I'm more like even keel of like my investment and my enjoyment output. I don't get a lot of lows. I don't get a lot of highs, and I guess to me, outsourcing my mood to something that I have no direct impact in, to me seems a little off. Like, and I know people have made the comparison that any sport is basically you pick your team and it's a reenactment of war. So it's like you're fighting to the death kind of as a sport, and then if your team wins, it's like you get to live kind of thing. But it's just like to me, I don't see it that way. I like playing sports. I like to win, but when I'm in control. So I like when I watch games, but I'm not really impacted by the outcome. Um, Rafael Nadal just won the French Open, um, and congrats to him. I'm more of a Roger Federer fan. I like watching Nadal too. Like I like watching great players play. I don't feel bad when Nadal beats Federer. I don't feel bad when Federer loses. I don't feel bad that Nadal is at one point in the greatest of all time discussion versus someone else. Like it, yeah, I just don't. I don't know. I don't commit a lot of emotional. I don't even know what to call it. Like investment to like like some other issue. It's probably like the same thing. Where like that's why I don't get into the news, politics, or anything. It's just like I'd rather invest in myself and like what I can control than get bent out of shape on like what other people are doing because I have no control over it. Kind of a weird way to end, I will say. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Do the whole thing. The likes, the subscribes, the comments, and the I don't know donations. I don't know that I haven't set it up. So if you can find me, I'd be really impressed. But cheers.